What was the reason that you went back to 34 Fairview to pick her up and bring her home?
Well, she's high maintenance. I didn't really want to have to deal with her.
Recently been in the Marine Corps.
Who's in the Marines?
I was in the Marines.
So and that would have been in like the family room?
Family room.
His room upstairs.
Family room.
Family room area?
I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't remember. Correct.
Did anybody instruct you not to talk about any times that anything happened?
I don't remember.
Caitlin Albert, CAITLIN-ALBERT.
Brian, last name Albert, ALBERT. Good afternoon to the jury.
And who was in your car with you on the drive back?
My wife Nicole and my daughter Caitlin.
We are continuing our investigation to find out who actually killed John O'Keefe, and today we're analyzing Caitlin Albert, the daughter of Brian Albert.
My wife, daughter here maybe, and I think I'm over here.
This is the surveillance video from the waterfall, and the time is critical. If you look there, 11:57. It takes about 5 minutes to drive to 34 Fairview.
About how far a drive is it from the waterfall to your house?
Five minutes. It looks like that. It had looked like Brian had gotten there first.
Since it's only a 5-minute drunk drive from the waterfall to 34 Fairview, they arrived at approximately 12:10.
And Higgins, and he was backing out so I could pull my car in.
Oh, where your father parked in relation to the house?
Yeah, the driveway. He parked in the driveway. Brian Higgins was the next to arrive. Very shortly after, came inside. After myself, my mom and dad.
So I might have been there, well, it was about the same time that Brian and Nicole showed up.
So he had arrived at your house before you, is that correct?
Yes, plowed the driveway and then pulled out, and then we pulled in. He was backing out so I could pull my car in.
I don't know if they entered before me or I entered after them.
Do you see how important it is not to give up and to analyze every single statement? These dopes can't get this story straight. Brian Albert claims that Brian Higgins was in the driveway and had to pull out to allow him to pull in, but we know Caitlin said that's not the truth. And we also know that John's about to arrive at 12:22.
And so when Mr. Higgins comes into the house at 34 Fairview, are you already in the house?
I was already inside, yes.
Statement is critical because Higgy Bear claimed that he followed Brian and Nicole into the house, but that's not true according to Caitlin.
Now, beyond the people that you just described, did anyone else come into your house, or into your parents' house that evening while you were there?
No.
You were asked the question, quote, did that male come inside the house? You answered, I believe he did. Question, so you saw someone else come? Answer, somebody else. Yes, correct?
Yes, but I also said that I wasn't paying attention.
I realize that you want to explain your answer. I've asked you a very simple question. Was that your testimony in front of another proceeding?
Yes, it was.
The only one out of our 7 potential killers that claimed somebody else came in the house was old Higgy Bear.
Another proceeding, which you were under oath.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Did you see anybody else come into the house while you were there between that 12 to 12:15 and 1:45?
No one else came in, no.
Who, if anyone else, came by the house?
No one. No one else came into the house after them, no.
You were asked how long was the person in there roughly, and you said it was quick. Less than a couple of minutes. I mean, it was quick, correct?
Yes.
And then you were asked what he looked like, and you said, I feel like they were a little bit taller.
Having observed Higgy Bear in his natural habitat for over a year now, I could tell you this, that face is one that he rarely makes. He knows he's trapped here.
You had dark hair, correct?
Yes.
So you testified that a tall, dark-haired male came into the house, at least briefly, correct?
Yes.
Did anyone else come into your house, or into your parents' house that evening while you were there?
No.
Approximately when in the timeline of events did that unidentified male enter the residence?
It would have been while I was there.
That statement is so critical, and you can see our Higgy Bear knows he's in trouble. Everyone else said no one came in. That leads us to believe that he attacked John without anyone else seeing.
Did you see anybody else come into the house while you were there between that 12 to 12:15 and 1:45?
No one else came in, no.
No one else came into the house after them, no.
At any point in time, did the people in the kitchen dining room area, any of them leave that area now?
I think there was another period of time where my dad might have been showing.
You said specifically, quote, I have never been upstairs. Is that
Yes.
right? All right.
At one point, I may have shown Brian Higgins some photos that were in my son's room that were upstairs. One of my son, Jack, who's one of the twins, we had put some plaques and some stuff in his room upstairs. Plaques, his room upstairs.
Quote, I have never been upstairs. Is that
Yes.
right? All right.
Came and told the truth.
My husband and his friend Brian were in our family room.
His room upstairs.
Family room. So I kind of went in there and was talking to the old pictures from our wedding or when Brian was in the Marines.
Or maybe My mom or my dad were showing Brian Higgins.
Oh, I think Nicole may have popped in for a second, but I'm not 100% positive on that.
Like family photos of one of my brothers.
Showed me some photographs, family. I believe primarily it might have been of his son who had recently been in the Marine Corps.
Who's in the Marines.
I was in the Marines.
So and that would have been in like the family room
His room upstairs.
family room area, which still is like,
God damn it, you guys. I said upstairs, pictures of Jack in his Marine uniform, not in the goddamn family room. And this is so critical because we know during this small window of time, Higgy Bear had to do something with the body, and he had to pull Brian Albert away from the party in order to deal with John's body. Based upon their testimony, I don't believe these kids saw the attack, but they definitely were instructed to stick to a script, which they obviously couldn't do.
doorway, so it's not like the door was shut or anything. But other than that, we all kind of stayed within that dining room kitchen vicinity.
You testified that you knew Brian Higgins, correct?
Yes.
He arrived at 34 Fairview Road after you got there, correct?
Yes, because me and my parents were the first ones inside.
Brian had gotten there first, Brian Higgins, and he was backing out so I could pull my car in.
Me and my parents were the first ones.
When you were at 34 Fairview, how much time lapsed between the time you first saw Brian Higgins and Brian Higgins left the residence?
I'd say an hour and a half.
Do you know approximately what time you left the house?
I'd guesstimate it was anywhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Isn't Higgy Bear so cute trying to deceive us with his timeline? He gave a range from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. He only got there about 12:10, and we know John was attacked about 12:23. So of course our Higgy Bear would not want to be there at any point right after.
I'm not 100% positive.
So relatively short period of time, is that correct?
It was a short period of time. I knew kind of from the onset when I got in there, it probably wasn't going to be a long time because I'm not a beer drinker and that's what they had.
From our observation, we do know the Higgy Bear only feeds on Jameson and ginger. However, he had bigger issues to deal with because there was a body laying somewhere for which he had to dispose of.
So I was probably one of the first people to leave between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Who was the last person?
I was the last person to leave.
Describe the order in which the other people that you just described were there. What order did those people?
Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, my aunt Jen, and my uncle Matt, they all left in one car. And then Brian Higgins left. I just don't remember the order in which it was probably within like a couple minutes of each other.
It was a short period of time, probably wasn't going to be a long time because I'm not a beer drinker and that's what they had.
But I just don't remember exactly who left first. And then I left pretty shortly after everyone else as well.
I wonder why our Higgy Bear is so vague with the exact time that he left.
Who picked you up from the house that night?
My boyfriend.
Tristan Morris, Morris, I'm a union pipe fitter.
Morris, where do you live?
Easton,
Who, if anyone, do you live there with?
Caitlin Albert. She's my girlfriend.
So how long have the two of you been together?
Roughly 8 years.
What vehicle you were driving on that occasion?
I was driving a white Jeep Cherokee.
And whose white Jeep Cherokee is that?
Caitlin's.
Did you have a vehicle at that time?
I did.
And what kind of vehicle did you have?
I believe it was a Ford Fusion.
At that time, he had a very old, I want to say like 2012 Ford Taurus.
The Ford Fusion.
So that's why he took my car, because the Taurus
The Ford Fusion.
wouldn't have been good in the snow.
Fairly older Ford Fusion.
2012, yes. I was very cautious. I was 10 and 2 the whole time.
10 and 2.
10 and 2.
And when you arrived, what, if anything, did you communicate to Caitlin?
I just told her I was here.
Do you recall whether you parked on the street or the driveway or?
No, I don't know.
This Chooch is Caitlin's boyfriend at the time, and he was living in Sin with her in an apartment about 20 miles away. And he had to come back at 1:45 in the morning to pick her up.
At some point, she comes out of the house, is that correct?
Correct.
I remember like sort of trying to watch my step because the stairs and the brick path were pretty snowy, and I didn't want to slip.
Did you ever get out of the car or go up to the house or go inside the house or anything like that?
This meathead better have gotten out of the car and helped Caitlin get in without slipping.
No, I did not.
Pretty snowy, and I didn't want to slip,
Did you ever get out of the car?
No, I did not.
and I was trying not to slip.
You've been dating Caitlin Albert for 7 to 8 years now?
Correct.
The two of you now live together?
Correct.
How long have you lived together for?
3 years.
Despite living in Sin for all those years, there is some good news. They just recently got married. And there were rumors that they named the drink after Chloe, the dog they got rid of after she bit John O'Keefe on that fateful morning. But it turns out the Chooch allegedly has a German Shepherd also named Jax. and the drink at the wedding was Jackson Coke.
This is the best day of my life.
I placed a photograph before you. Take a look at that and look up at me when you're done.
During his testimony, Tristan was handed this photo and asked some questions about it.
How many people are in that photograph?
Do you want me to count?
Can I take off my shoes?
Yes.
12.
Very good, Tristan.
Do you recall the date that that photograph was posted?
No, I don't.
You've had a chance to look at it?
Yeah.
Does that refresh your memory as to the date of the posting of that photograph?
Yes.
What date was it?
You just showed me.
I know, and I'm asking you to tell the jury.
It's June 5th. It was dated.
You were at 34 Fairview Road in Canton at 1:45 in the morning on January 29th of 2022, correct?
I don't remember the time.
Was it wildly different than 1:45 in the morning, or was it somewhat close to that?
I'm not going to make up a time. I don't remember.
Was it 9 p.m. on the 28th?
I don't remember times.
If I asked you if you were there to pick up your girlfriend Caitlin
Caitlin Albert, she's my girlfriend.
at 9 p.m. on January 28th, you couldn't say if that's true or false?
No, because I'm not making up a time.
So it could have been 9 p.m. that you were there, not 1:45 in the morning.
I didn't say that.
You've just said that you can't rule out that it was actually 9 p.m. on the 28th, didn't you?
I didn't say anything. I don't remember a time.
This jabroni does not want to answer this question.
Right, but it couldn't have been 9 p.m. on January 28th. Could it have been?
I don't know.
What time were you at the waterfall?
I don't remember.
Were you at the waterfall?
Yes, I was.
On what date?
The 28th.
What time did you leave the waterfall?
I don't remember.
So it could have been 5 p.m. that you left.
Could have been 5 in the morning. I don't know.
But you do remember being there, correct?
I remember picking my girlfriend up, yes.
You pulled into the driveway?
I don't remember where I pulled into.
He parked in the driveway.
Okay. Did you pull into any place when you got there?
I don't remember where I pulled into.
Did you pull in any place when you got to 34th Fairview?
Well, I had to pick my girlfriend up, so yes, I did.
Was there any place other than the driveway to pull into when you got to 34th Fairview?
The back door.
No.
So it had to be the driveway, right?
Must have been.
Did anybody instruct you not to talk about any times that anything happened?
Absolutely not.
From your discussions with Caitlin, what was the reason that you went back to 34 Fairview to pick her up and bring her home?
Well, she's high maintenance. I didn't really want to have to deal with her.
She wanted to come home, is that correct?
Yes.
Your testimony that the plan from the beginning was that Tristan was going to drive from Canton to Easton, get some rest, and then drive from Easton to Canton to pick you up so that he could take you back.
The defense was implying that Caitlin wasn't picked up at 1:45 a.m. and she only called Tristan because something occurred in the house.
From Canton to Easton, that was the plan?
Well, she's high maintenance. I didn't really want to have to deal with her.
It may not have been set in stone, but it was definitely spoken about, and then that's what ended up happening.
She's so high maintenance, she made a wardrobe change during her testimony.
When Tristan picked you up at 1:45 a.m., did you bring Chloe out of the house with you to take to your apartment?
No.
When you left 34 Fairview at 1:45, which door did you use?
The back door. I think I walked out the front door.
Caitlin Albert, she's my girlfriend.
She's your wife now, and congratulations on the nuptials. While Caitlin Albert's testimony was contradictory to some of the issues, she does hold an important part in our case because she sets a parameter as to the last person that actually left the house. Because there were so few people that had the opportunity to kill John O'Keefe, this case is very simple to solve.
Brian Higgins,
We are not giving up, nor are we stopping until the real perpetrator
Higgins,
is brought to justice.
Special Agent with the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
I'm a union pipe fitter. I don't remember. No, I don't remember. Can you repeat that? I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't remember. Correct.
Did anybody instruct you not to talk about any times that anything happened?
I don't remember.